I'm doing it again.
Okay, do it again.
Welcome to a Game From Podcast. My name is Sergio I am, and joining me always...
I'm Ricky Casman.
Yeah, there you go. See, don't look at yourself. That's the trick with streaming live.
I really like my hat.
All the crazy kids constantly look at each other.
I like my hat a lot, so I'm looking at the hat.
Oh, yeah. All right. So anyways, today we're talking about a lot of crazy things because we went to go see 10 Cloverfield Lane.
So good.
On Wednesday.
So good!
Instead of doing our topic.
So,
our show.
It was kind of worth not doing the show for me.
It worked out, I think,
so
because
good.
now we have an additional few stories to talk about, which is the movie, of course, and Civil War released their second trailer, too.
Man,
so
what a crazy one.
That's a lot of stuff happened this week. So we have a lot to talk about. So let's see how quickly we can rush through some of this.
It'll be like a 4-hour episode.
4 hours at least. But first off, we have Ghostbusters. The trailer was finally released. We saw it, and then it was met with a lot of backlash. And I believe recently the director said something about fuck the haters.
Paul Feig, yeah. So what happened was, well, a lot of things happened. The trailer came out, and people did not like this trailer. A lot of people didn't like it. They said it was very campy, very cheesy, very confusing because the trailer starts out saying 30 years ago, this team, now a new team. So we know it's not a sequel, it's a reboot. So yeah. I don't even know why they would bring up the whole 30 years ago thing. So
I actually put some notes on that because it's a little weird because it's one of those movies where I'm calling it, this is how I'm thinking about it. It pulls a Force Awakens. It's pulling a Force Awakens is the terminology I want to use for it. Because it's not a sequel, but it's a reboot that's aware of the previous movies.
Except Force Awakens takes place in the actual continuity, whereas this one does not.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Well, it's a little... Yeah, you're right that it is, in a sense...
Force Awakens is a sequel.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
You're right.
This one's not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the idea in Force Awakens is that the first movies are like, it's a myth, right? It's like legend kind of thing.
But they happened.
Yeah, and that's what they're not aware of, though.
Right.
Okay, so that's, I guess, where I was taking it. A little mixed up there. But nonetheless, so that's, I think, what's going on here, though, in the sense that it's not a sequel, even though it probably is.
I think they straight up said it was not part of the same universe.
But the first thing in the trailer...
I don't understand why it's not.
That's what I'm saying, is that it's self-aware that happened, you know? So, I don't know. I think that's the first thing that threw me off. Now, the other thing is, I'm seeing that people either love it or hate it. I'm not seeing any in between. Like, oh, it looks okay.
See, I'm that person. I'm in between. I've been looking forward to the movie a lot. I mean, for years I've been trying to make another one. I have no problem with the all-female cast. I think the cast is cool. I think it's cool that they're making a female team. My whole issue with the trailer is that it looks like they're going for like the campy and the cheap like laughs, which is kind of what I was a little afraid of.
Yeah.
Because the old movies didn't really have that kind of humor. They were funny as hell, but they didn't have that kind of humor. Like here, there's like some weird, like, I don't know. It looks really, really campy, which is what I'm a little afraid of. I didn't hate the trailer. I liked a lot of it. I think visually it looks awesome. People are complaining about the CGI. I think the CGI actually looks cool.
I think it looks amazing. The thing is, I think people are comparing it to the original too much. And in my opinion, that everything that happened for the original Ghostbusters was so perfectly timed. Like, the cast worked so well together. The idea of the story within that time was just perfect for that time. The 80s had that type of humor that I can't really... I don't see that anymore. And on top of that, the story was just a mixture of, like, this really cool idea of, like, you know, of ghosts mixed with, you know, that kind of horror comedy aspect. I don't know. It's a good blend of... It's like a perfect blend. It's like the Powerpuff Girls. You know what I mean?
I think you hit it on the nose. I think it was the original two... Oh, the first one specifically. They were so good because of the chemistry of the cast. I don't know if this cast has that chemistry.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Now, that's the one thing I want to move on to is the fact that it's a heavily SNL favorite cast.
Like, I hate to say it because she's the one that's been getting the most heat on, like, social media, and, like, your dog's going crazy.
Yeah, that's her dog over there.
What was I gonna say? My least favorite cast member of SNL is Leslie Jones.
Yeah,
and it's simply because I feel like her comedy and the way it's very, very over the top, which I don't know if for me it'll fit with this movie. Unfortunately, she's been getting a lot of hate on Twitter. People are getting really personal with her, Paul Feig had to step in and like defend her, and like my whole issue with her, it's nothing about her. It's just I don't know if her style of comedy necessarily fits the Ghostbusters world. I did read that her role was originally written for Melissa McCarthy, and then they moved Melissa McCarthy to a more prominent role to give Leslie Jones this role. So I don't know. I really like Kate McKinnon. I think she's the best person in SNL right now. So I'm really excited for her in the movie. Melissa McCarthy's whatever for me. And what's her face? Now I forgot her name.
Don't tell me because I don't even know.
Kristen Wiig.
So look, I watch SNL every week, and I just never watch. I never like remember the names. They never stick in my head. I'm just so bad at it. I think they all blend together. But look, the thing with SNL is that if you watch it, you'll probably like it more. And I'm saying that because I liked what I saw, but I did not compare it to the original Ghostbusters.
You can't.
If I did, I can easily see how you'd hate it. I can easily see, you'd bash it on the spot. And of course, everyone's now using the fact that it's all a full woman, it's all women in the cast.
I'm fine with.
It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't. I've never even thought of it that way.
Like I said before, what I'm scared of is the type of humor that they're going to use in the movie. That's what I'm saying.
Me. Yeah, it does seem very slapstick, like cliches, but it's a lot of humor that you see in SNL. So when I saw that kind of stuff, I was like, this. I can see this as a skit playing out in SNL. And SNL has a few movies out there where it's a majority of the cast that makes up the main cast, at least in those movies. And sometimes it's hit and miss. There's some movies that are really good, like Anchorman, where it has a lot of the SNL cast.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be current or anything. It's not even connected really with SNL, I believe. But sometimes it's swing and a miss. You'll have horrible movies and really good movies. And I feel like this is one of those things where they should not have included maybe the whole, everyone that's connected to SNL, because I feel like you're connecting it.
Literally the only person, you have two current SNL members, and then you have an ex-SNL member and somebody who might as well have been an SNL, which is Melissa McCarthy. So, the new song is dope, though. I like the new song.
It was fun. It was fun.
But
someone remade the trailer using
I saw it.
Yeah, and that actually made it feel better. It's funny. They
got rid of the 30 years ago thing, and they kind of re-edited it to get rid of some of the stupid humor in it. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. That aside, let me see. That goes back to sequels taking over Hollywood, like we said. Like, it's very common to see sequels everywhere for a good reason. A lot of people that were watching these movies as kids or when they were younger are now expecting them to come back.
It's the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, and this will always happen. I think watching newer movies, it's a bigger risk for studios to try something new sometimes. That aside, we did get Slimer though, so I think that was a huge positive.
I heard we're getting the high-C ecto coolers back. I think Paul Feig confirmed on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Which is really cool.
That's funny.
That's a huge part of our childhood or whatever. So we'll get to drink the high-C with Slimer on the front.
I love high-C, so I have no problem with that. Next up, we want to talk about Power Rangers because we talked about it last Wednesday, and as soon as we talked about it,
the first look came out. Like the second we put out that episode, that first look came out.
So literally the day before, right after, or was it the day?
It was. We recorded the episode at night, and then the next day at like 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, that first look picture went out.
So that was hilarious.
And it's them on a rock cliff.
Yeah. So who was it? Entertainment Weekly.
I think it was EW. Yeah.
So it was a costumeless group photo. First off, if you haven't seen it, don't get excited. It's a coming-of-age story, is what they said in the press release.
Which it's fine because that's what the
normally what it's about. But I just love that wording. It just always comes off very cheesy and corny.
I think we got to go back to the last episode where we talked about that. I think we got punked because you know how I mentioned the whole thing in that other episode about how originally we heard it was going to be a reboot, and then it was like, oh no, it's going to be part of the actual continuity. The more that I see things, it has to be a reboot. Like, there's no way that it's not a reboot. Like, it does not. It's like the exact same story as the original show with the same names and everything. Yeah. It has to be a reboot.
Well, then, that's what it is.
It has to be a reboot.
Now, look, one of the things they did say is that they're not friends, so they're all enemies
at the beginning, right?
And I think isn't that how it starts off originally? Like, there's just like different people.
They're kind of just there. They're all like different cliques or whatever, and then Zordon brings them all together when Angel Grove.
And I remember liking that because as a kid, I always looked up to people in high school because I was like, that's so cool, right? So, and then I was, looking back on it, it's super cheese, but nonetheless, it makes sense for this to happen. It's based on the original.
Has your daughter seen Power Rangers, the original show?
No, not yet, no. But one of the things they talked about was character races swapped to remove race-based colors. Thank God.
It makes
okay.
yeah, it makes
Thank
sense.
God. It's
It
so
makes sense.
offensive when I'm not gonna even say it, but it just makes.
When the Black Ranger's black.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's just it comes off like one of those things.
When the
really, guys?
when the Yellow Ranger is Asian.
You know what? I wanted to say something about having a Hispanic Power Ranger.
We
and
have-
then
we
I
have
cut
one.
it out. No, I know, but I was gonna say
No.
something, but I'm not gonna say it.
What color?
But-
What color would you have given?
That's
this
what I'm
one?
saying. I'm
what
not
color?
saying-
What color?
No, but listen, costume updates. We're also getting costume updates, but this is a cool thing though. This could be really cheesy, but they have the Weta Workshops people doing it.
I would have given the Hispanic Ranger red because it's spicy.
That's actually probably better than what I would have said. So these guys did costumes for Lord of the Rings.
We just working on it. That was awesome.
Yeah, and I love them. I bought some of their props from from
I
games
hope,
stuff.
and I know it didn't work. I know it didn't work in Green Lantern, but I hope that I hope there's a little bit of CGI to their suits. Cause I think it'll look cool. If there's like a CGI, not completely, but like a little CGI
It'll look
element
amazing. It'll look amazing
to their
yeah.
suits.
Now, this is a quote from the actual article or the press release. They're not really suits that people get into. They're suits that
They
morph
morph into.
onto our kids. And I love how they say our kids.
Right.
So they already have this almost metaphysical quality
Which is awesome.
to them.
So I'm assuming the
Green Lantern. That's pretty much the same thing, right?
but probably better. Hopefully better.
I mean, I'm guessing it'll probably be similar to that.
We're just working on it, so it's gonna be good.
What I remember there's something like in some anime or some show or something where like the costume comes out of the belt. It's almost like Flash, you know, like the ring.
I'm sure that the costumes will feel very. Whereas the other ones, the original ones felt very plasticky and like whatever. I'm sure these will feel very organic. I'm sure you'll see.
Like I'm thinking
You'll
Spider-Man.
you'll see some of the muscle. You'll see, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
yeah. The helmet will probably be a little less bulky and more like molded into the face.
yeah.
I feel.
You know, I don't know if they can make it look cool as much as it because it's so cheesy.
I'm probably.
but
I'm
it's
probably,
a good thing though.
I'm probably more excited for this than what I should be. I probably should not be as excited.
You
for
know,
this
it's always
movie
exciting
as-
when it's something like this because it's such a small amount of revealed things, and I'm excited for it. You know,
I wonder
I hope
if-
it's something I want to go watch.
My hope is I wonder if Jason David Frank, for those who don't know, the actor who played Tommy Oliver in the original series, the Green Ranger, White Ranger.
Yeah.
Eventually he was a Black Ranger and not Neo, the one that came after him. He is like the biggest ambassador for Power Rangers. Like he still goes to conventions and
Oh yeah.
supports it.
You're right. The Pink Ranger too do sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, no, but like he is like he
Always there.
He lives, breathes Power Rangers. Like I have him on social media. He's always posting about it. He's hinted at the fact that
But he
like
has nothing to do with it.
he's insinuated that he's gonna like.
I wish he made a cameo.
He's been trying to get a he's been pushing for like some kind of cameo, and he's been talking to Saban like a bunch. So I wouldn't doubt it if he's in the movie. I don't think he'll be playing Tommy.
I think a cameo would be super important, to be honest. As in, like, maybe them handing something down to them in a metaphorical way.
You know, I just thought, what would be dope is if he played, maybe not physically, but at least like if he was the voice of Zordon or something
Yeah,
like
that'd be
that
awesome,
would be
yeah.
a dope like.
Why does Zordon have to be a white bald guy?
Look, doesn't have to be.
Exactly.
I mean, especially in 2016 when we have
Yeah, of course.
multiracial cast.
All right, so next up we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
My favorite actor.
You know what? He's one of my favorite
is
people,
my
I think,
favorite
because
actor.
I remember seeing him in Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, when he was a young lad.
He looked like he was in Hanson.
He had the
Hanson?
he had the long hair. Yeah, he looked like the fourth member of Hanson.
I remember that. What was his first big movie? I forgot.
Big movie. I don't remember what his first one was, but the reason I'll not use the words. The reason I fell in love with him as an actor is
500.
500 Days of Summer.
Yeah,
It's my
see,
favorite-
I'm the same way.
High five.
That's you know what? I love the Notebook too. I just want to bring that up.
500 Days
I
of
want
Summer.
to bring that up.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite movie. I adore that movie. That's when I saw that movie. I was like, I fell in love with him and with Zoe D. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite movie.
Yeah, but you know what? He also has an astounding career.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen most of his films, but there's some films that he plays every role you can think
What's
of.
the one he did? That one he wrote and directed. The one he did with
I don't know.
With what's her face? With
Was
wow.
it recent?
Yeah, it was the one where he played a Guido.
Yes, I know.
With Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
It was good.
That one was fun too, but the one you know what? This is why we need to write more notes. But look, either way, great actor. Let's just keep it at that. Sandman by Neil Gaiman. He's the executive producer, by the way, because this is what we're talking about right now is the Sandman adaptation.
Right, adaptation. Yeah.
Yeah. and producing. This is a producing deal with Warner Brothers that Joseph, or Joe, like he calls himself Joe.
Right.
Let's call him Joe, like we know him.
He calls himself Regular Joe. That's like his
regular Joe.
online handle.
That's his thing. He was the executive producer on Looper, which, by the way, amazing movie.
Looper was so good.
Yeah, the makeup on him actually made him look like Bruce Willis.
The guy who directed Looper is now directing episode 8. So
yeah.
Right.
So his series, his series it's called Hit Record.
Hit Record on
which is like
on Peon. I think it's on Peon.
It's like almost like a crowdsourced.
Yeah,
like
it's
I love it's a community. It sounds awesome.
Cool, it's
yeah.
cool.
So, anyways, he had a producing deal with Warner Brothers, and on a Facebook post, and this has happened last week.
Yeah.
He talked about some issues that came up, and it gets a little awkward. Sandman catalog shifted from Vertigo
to DC
to New Line. Yeah,
New Line, that's right.
DC
owns Vertigo. Yeah.
So this shifted over to New Line, and that created this issue now.
Right.
And due to creative differences with New Line,
he dropped out.
Yeah, he's no longer connected to the project, which sort of sucked because you know what? I saw this and I was actually happy about it because it's two people I really like in general.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have been a good fit for Sandman.
Well, the thing is, he wanted to stick to the actual story really strongly. And the thing is, although he disconnected from the film, Neil Gaiman is wishing him nothing but the best.
Right,
and I'm guessing that means they had a good relationship together, that they were working well together. But maybe New Line came in and they wanted to take it in a whole different direction. And you know what? I can see how that can be an issue.
He had been working on it for a while. For like
This was announced.
Years.
Yeah. This was announced for all. Anyways, we do have a quote from that Facebook post, and it says, "A few months ago, I came to realize that the folks at New Line and I just don't see eye to eye on what makes Sandman special, and what a film adaptation should be. So unfortunately, I decided to remove myself from the project." So what I like about this is that he is defending his view, and instead of sticking with it and saying, "Well, whatever, I'm getting paid," he's deciding to stay away from it.
He did it in a very respectful way.
He didn't burn any bridges. In my opinion, I don't think he did.
Yeah. No animosity. He's got. If he felt he couldn't do it, I'm glad he dropped out instead of sticking.
I don't know if it's because he couldn't do it, or I feel maybe he had this completely.
No, he couldn't do it his way. Is what I mean.
Okay. So and then on Twitter, Neil Gaiman said, "And for the record, my respect for at Hit Record Joe, that's his Twitter name, is undiminished. Getting to know him was the best bit of the last round. He's special.
He's awesome."
Yeah. So I hope this isn't one of those things that turns out badly, and then we can say, "Whoa, he actually dodged a bullet by doing that." Because I love Sandman. I mean, I have literally I think I was rereading it, and I'm at 6 again. Yeah. So I actually haven't read the new stuff though.
I haven't read the new stuff either.
But Sandman is such a unique take on this kind of mythology. Yeah. And it's so great, and I really need this to be good. I need this to be good. I need this.
I think we're still a couple years off from seeing. I don't think we'll see it anytime soon.
I'm sure they're gonna take their time with developing it correctly. But of course, since we're talking about that,
Sandman works better as a TV show. I think you should do it as a TV show.
No, you know why? I think it just dies out. It doesn't.
But there's so much.
But there's such a cinematic aspect to it. When you think about the set design, in my opinion, it's so vast and just epic.
Look at TV shows now; they're super cinematic.
No, of course. But I feel like now TV shows, when they go on, when they start a TV show, their whole goal is to keep it going as long as possible. So there's no actual ending in sight.
You have enough. I mean, Game of Thrones has an ending in sight. Season 8, at the end of season 8.
I don't know. I feel like if it does so well, that they'll probably find some excuse to keep it going.
Preacher's a TV show. It's coming out as a TV show now on AMC. I personally think Sandman will work.
Japan has a really good thing going with anime where some of it has 23 episodes done. Cowboy Bebop, for example, an astounding epic.
23
and
now.
23 it's done.
Full Metal.
They don't bring it back. They let it die. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that I can see that if it was a short lived show. Okay, sure, why not? But I feel like the Adventures of Sandman. You know what I mean? And then Flash comes into this episode or something like that.
It would have to be a dark. It would have to be a cable network.
Yeah. So next up, since we're still on the topic of movies, this is an interesting one because I thought this was a complete joke and it actually ended up happening, and it's 23 Jump Street X Men in Black, and it's happening. This is actually happening.
I remember
this makes no sense.
I remember when this first came out during the Sony hack, when Sony got hacked.
So outside of all the executive nudes that popped up,
you know what though, I know it's gonna. I actually don't have. I think it could be good if they do it a certain way. If they if they respect the history set by the original movie with the characters from 21 Jump Street, sorry. It could be kind of good cuz they have really good chemistry together.
Well, the thing is, I think okay, so look, of course we're going to talk about Men in Black because the way it ended was like that little story with Will Smith and what's his name?
Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah. It ended. It cut off at that point, right? After the third one. Now what they're going to do is they're going to reboot the series using this as a platform.
Right.
So Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones not on board for that reason. And this was a big thing. They wanted to make sure everyone knows this is not.
Right.
So this I almost take this like the Power Rangers thing, where I feel like they're gonna bring young people into it. Like Will Smith was really young when he started Men in Black. This is like right after Fresh Prince, and he started,
It wasn't his first role, but it was. I think it was his first. It was one of his first big breakout roles.
Yeah. So I'm happy about this. It sounds exciting. It sounds random, but you know what though? I feel like with 23 Jump Street, they can have that kind of fun.
It could be good.
Now, you know what? I'm curious though. Do you think the guys from 23 Jump Street will somehow be involved with Men in Black, or is this just a way to get people into Men in Black?
Lord and Miller?
Yeah.
They have a lot on their plate.
They're
doing Han Solo. They're doing so. I wouldn't want to see a 21 Jump Street sequel without them, but this is its own. This isn't. It's the two guys from 21 Jump Street joining the Men in Black, so it's kind of a different feel to it. So I don't know. If they're not directing, I hope that Lord and Miller at least produce.
Yeah, I mean, well, James, is it Bobbin? James Bobbin, Muppets, Flight of the Conchords. He may be directing this. So anyways, it sounds like something that's completely out of whack, out of sync with what movies is.
Correct.
What you're used to seeing. But I love it. I love the idea of it. I think it's completely different.
And it goes, I think everybody's trying to create, like, I think after Marvel, everybody's trying to create like their own shared universe. Shared universe.
And you know what? I'm okay with that. I like the idea of a shared universe because then you can connect. You feel like this movie is worth something to the next one.
Even Ghostbusters supposedly is like creating a shared universe where they're gonna make like other movies with like other teams. Like Channing Tatum was rumored to be in one of them for a while. So like,
that's funny.
I feel like everybody's trying to do their shared universe.
Yeah, do like a worldwide Ghostbusters kind of thing. That'd be funny.
But like, it could be really really good. And it could be really, 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 really bad. Yeah. So it's gonna be hit or miss.
All right, so we do have two other movie-related things to talk about. We're just shuffling along as we go. Do you want to do Civil War, or do you want to talk about 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Let's do Civil War first. It's like our main thing. So.
All right, so look, I can describe the trailer for you. It's pretty much action, punches,
awesomeness,
costumes,
a little feel, some
faces,
some feels,
model faces,
some feels,
and no one cared about 90% of the whole trailer because it's you're used to it at that point. You know what Civil War is going to be about, and everyone forgot about Black Panther for some reason. Like it was a huge thing for me. I was like, dude, Black Panther is in this. Yeah, and I was like, fuck, get out of here, Black Panther.
He looks dope.
I think he's an amazing character that they're sort of shuffling aside right now because Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. And the world went crazy.
So this was so weird to me because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, as I hope a majority of people are. You know, I constantly say this. I love Spider-Man. I think he has one of my favorite hero stories, and I was excited, just like anyone else who was a fan, to see him. And then, of course, we get 2 seconds. So,
which is fine. I'm okay.
I understand. Yeah. It's a teaser. But the issue for me is this. Whatever you would have given us, even if it was the entire, 2-3 minutes of just Spider-Man, it would still be a controversy. Why? Because people would say, it's not enough for you to judge, but everyone judges it, right? Like, I know I did right away.
He's literally going to be in the movie for 5 minutes at most. 5-10 minutes at most.
And I think they really have to do something about that, like talk about it or say something on Twitter about it, because people are going nuts over this. Everyone knows who Spider-Man is, even though they may not know who Black Panther is, who some of the other heroes on there. Some people still don't know who Ant-Man is, even though he was on a movie in a movie. But so this is what happened for me. It was CGI. Now, it popped up in my peripheral vision as I wasn't really watching the trailer until I was waiting for that one spot to happen. And then I saw him and I was like, okay, that looks a little cartoony, a little like a game. Now, first off, there's no way they're gonna have someone literally swinging through the sky, right? So there's some CGI involved, and then the real one's landing. So, but one of the things that threw me off is the color correction on it. And the eyes, of course, which is guaranteed CG, because there's a roboticness to the eyes.
Yeah.
Something happens in the ends where he sort of like closes his eyes a little bit, and you hear the mechanical, like kind of sound. So, now one thing I want to bring up before we talk about that, though, is CGI work was in progress during these trailers.
Right.
Now, someone has a shot-by-shot comparison, I think, of the first trailer and this trailer, where you can see different backgrounds, and then all of a sudden Scarlet Witch is flying in one, and the other, she's on the floor, and then Ant-Man is in one, and Ant-Man isn't in another one. So there's this kind of controversy going on that maybe these trailers are just literally meant for, to give you that taste of, like, what you're going to get. But there's some CGI in progress during these trailers being released. So I'm not 100% sure on that, of course. But we're guaranteed to know that a lot of this is on green screen. A lot of this is going to be CG to a certain extent. And so give me your take on it. So what do you think on the CG side of things?
Before I get into all that, the trailer was so good. You did not need... I almost feel like putting Spider-Man in the trailer hurt the trailer.
Yeah, it hurt it. It hurt it. I honestly think so.
You did not need... I would not have put Spider-Man in the trailer. I would have left Spider-Man as a reveal for when the movie came out.
I think it was a mistake.
I know why they did it. So they're showing the movie in its entirety at CinemaCon in April. So I think they wanted to do it through unofficial channel before we started getting really low res camera quality pictures of,
and it makes sense. It makes sense
of Spider-Man.
I think that's something they're doing more often now.
I want to talk about the trailer itself for a little bit before getting into the whole Spider-Man thing.
Okay, go
at this
for it.
point, who cares about Spider-Man?
Well, let's be honest though. The trailer was really good. It's just that everyone was waiting for Spider-Man.
I know, which I think is sad. Because the trailer was edited so well, and it really gets me hyped for the movie. One of the things that I liked that we got is the whole time I think me and a lot of people have been wondering, like comic book fans, like, if there were going to be any similarities to the original storyline in the comic books.
Yeah.
And you see in the trailer that the reason why the whole war is starting is because of the destruction of New York, DC, and Sokovia. In the comic books, the whole reason Civil War starts is because a group of mutants, the New Mutants, accidentally blow up an island while filming a reality TV show. So while the story's different in the movie compared to the comics, at least the core of the conflict
that's what
is very similar, which I'm very, very happy with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that in the comics the conflicts that leads to there being like a superhero registration act. I'm not sure if that's the actual conflict in the movie because they didn't really go there, but I'm happy that at least it has some of the core ties to the original story. Yeah. I cannot wait to see how these people fight each other. I'm Team Cap all the way. I think you are too.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense why you'd be on the government side, in my opinion.
If you support Iron Man, you're a communist.
But the thing is, why would you, is my thing. Ever since I read Civil War, I was like, why would anyone choose that side outside of being blackmailed?
If you're for America, you should, or if you're for freedom, you should support Captain America, dude.
And I will say, Civil War is one of the things that actually got me to like Captain America more because I thought he was too straightforward. He was like the Boy Scout that's too. He can't make a mistake, right? But then when I saw this, I was like, "Holy cow!" I'm saying "cow" because I was gonna say you say.
Right.
But I loved it. I fell in love with this character more because of Civil War, and I'm glad they're not changing it. And you know what? If they go down the route of like following Civil War, what made Civil War such a shock? I really think this movie is gonna be amazing.
So apparently it's like a 15-minute that the whole fight scene between them is like a 15-minute frenzy action thing, which is gonna be
it's funny. Sometimes 15 minutes is all you get in CG. Sometimes
awesome.
So I'm excited about it.
I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to see Crossbones will probably end up being the major villain of the piece. I think Baron Zemo's in it. So I'm really excited, and then of course the whole Spider-Man thing.
So let's not spend a lot of time on it because they didn't on the trailer, but pretty much the complaints.
Okay, so here's my thing. The suit, I feel, is too literal of an adaptation to the comic book, which in any other case would be fine, but here's the thing. The other people in the Marvel movies, the other heroes, their looks have not been direct adaptations of the comic books. They've kind
Modernized.
They've modernized them, and they fit the tone of the movies. Because Spider-Man's suit, at least going off the trailer, is so literal of an adaptation, down to like the brightness of the color, I feel like it's out of place.
Yeah, I agree.
Visually with the rest of the people. Now, I have no issues with the suit itself. It's the color of the suit. It's too bright. It doesn't go with the look of the movie. I like the black bands that they added.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
There are some lines and some line work on there that's like very modernized.
I like the animated eyes. I think that's kind of cool.
Well, look. So this is my thing. I agree with the colors, but I feel like that's actually done in post. It feels like that red almost feels unnaturally red.
That suit cannot be that red in real life.
So it felt like it was too bright. Yeah, classic Spidey. And another thing, someone froze, did a frame by frame, and in the back he has the round spider, the circular round cartoony spider from the comics. So they're definitely trying to pay homage to the originals, which I respect that. But to a certain extent, it breaks the look completely,
right?
Because everyone else has something modernized that makes sense as a suit.
The colors, for everybody's colors toned down. Like Captain America's blues, they're not really like bright blues.
Yeah.
They're
darker. Yeah.
So I don't.
Now the thing is, a lot of people are saying that this is probably a costume that a kid put together, and that's the whole thing. I disagreed with that, but listen, the reason I disagree with it now is because of the eyes in the end. I think this is a Tony suit.
So right, what I thought from the beginning, I think the original suit we're gonna see him in, and maybe we won't see it in this one. Maybe we'll see it in his movie. I think I'm imagining like a hoodie, like something a kid would put together.
Yeah.
This suit that we saw, definitely Stark Tech.
Yeah.
Definitely Stark Tech.
Yeah. And the thing is, the reason that's weird to me, it makes perfect sense, and that's the only reason they did the eyes in the end. To tell you that, right?
It's definitely
Stark
Tech.
The reason it's weird, because in Civil War, we do have, actually in the comics, what happens is, down the Amazing Spider-Man, Tony does get involved with Spider-Man's suit, and he makes the Iron Spider armor.
Yeah.
And that is, look,
it's basically Spider-Man's suit
with these metallic arms that come out,
and Iron Man's
and
colors,
some upgrades and whatnot.
Red and gold, yeah.
Yes, but that's what I was saying. That's Iron Man to me. I was like, this guy is the kind of person, has the personality that's like, look, I'm going to make you a suit, but it's going to be in my colors. Why? Because my colors are badass, right? That's his personality. So that's why I was a little off to see this happening, because I was like, this doesn't seem like anything that he would make. And then they did have a high-res image of the suit. Did you see it? Where it actually shows more of the texture. The texture is lost in the distance.
In the distance, yeah.
Now, one of the things is it looks better when you see it, but the problem is that those little details are gone at a distance, like I said.
Right.
So I think that's a little problematic. That aside, I do think the past Spider-Man suits were amazing. I think they looked really good.
Andrew Garfield's is the best one.
It looked great.
I love Andrew Garfield's.
And there's little details and whatnot that they had to make them more, pop and more realistic and more believable. And now seeing that compared to this one threw me off, and I think that's what it is.
Absolutely.
But on top of that, I'm not even going to really care, because I think people are putting too much into Spider-Man now because they teased it, and they sort of ruined that aspect of the movie a little bit.
I don't even care. It's cool that he's in the movie, but I don't care so much that he's in the movie. He's gonna get his own movie down the line anyways. I'm excited about the Civil War aspect of it.
Yeah, I am too. So I hope that the Spider-Man thing gets worked out, and we should do an Origins of Spider-Man, by the way.
The movie is, they're showing the movie in like a month. So
yeah, one of the things we have to talk about is we're gonna do an episode on an Origins episode of Spider-Man, because
that's gonna be a long episode.
No, I know, but I want us to talk about who we expect the villains to be and who we want the villains to be, because I have some ideas that are just gonna be like a few hours.
I can tell you who it won't be.
Batman.
It won't be Venom.
No, because he has his own movie.
Because Sony
going.
wants to make his movie now. So,
but we'll talk about that. We'll save that for an episode. For Origins. Anyways, so we will move on to 10 Cloverfield Lane, because we have a few more minutes left, and so we saw it, and there's something I don't know if you're aware of.
We're going to spoilers.
We're gonna do spoilers. We're going all out.
So at this point in the show, we're gonna give you 5 seconds. Yeah.
So 5, guys,
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, yeah. No, we're gonna do our pirate. We'll leave our pirate in there next time. We'll bring our pirate on board next time. But yeah, guys, be ready for spoilers, because I have a lot of information for this one. Now, first off, let's just start off with the basic idea of whether or not you liked it. Did you like it?
I freaking loved it.
I loved it too.
It was so good.
I loved it. I think it was great. Now, one of the things that I told you, and I still, I think is true, is that this is a story within a story.
Right.
So what should we talk about what it's about? What should we do? How do you want to do this?
I kind of feel like I don't want to get too much into the specifics of it, because even though we said spoilers, like I still want to keep some of the mystery box for people who whatever, but
we have to give it away though. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
At this point, I think people saw it.
What you were getting at is that this story is basically taking place at the same time that the original movie is taking place.
That Cloverfield is
taking place in a different part of the country.
Yes. Now look, let's just. I'm gonna lay it out flat. Cloverfield. There's an attack. And people are trying to figure it out.
New York City.
I believe so. I'm not 100%. I
I
don't want to be on. No, it is in New York. But
this is Illinois, I think.
This is in Houston, near Houston.
Right. I think because when they show the mail.
Right. So what happens here is that we have a hostage situation, pretty much, right? Girl wakes up in a bunker. What's a bunker for? You can probably tell at this point.
Yeah.
Something's going on above. You're locked in here, and the point is this. It's like Misery. It's a lot like Misery.
Yeah.
It really is. You're locked in here for your own safety. Don't leave or you'll kill us all. Now, pretty much what happens is that you can, because of Cloverfield, you have an idea of what's going on up top. So that kind of idea is.
But even then, because of the internal conflict within what's happening in the bunker, you're kind of unsure until the end of maybe this isn't set in the Cloverfield universe. Yeah. Maybe this is like maybe this
is before,
or maybe this character's lying. Maybe like you're not really sure until towards the end of whether or not it actually.
There's a lot of little things that arise that once you start feeling comfortable. Oh, I know where the story is. I know where we're at. Boom, something changes. Now the thing is, this is almost like a character study, because you're spending a lot of time with 3 characters in a tight space, right? Now, one of the things that I liked was, look, first off, amazing acting, amazing little story in between.
All the way.
I like the back and forth. I like every situation that they got put into.
John Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and John Gallagher Jr. were
now watch. I'm going to blow your mind if you don't know about what I'm going to talk about now, but we've been completely fooled. Do you have any idea? Okay, so this is gonna get a little tricky. So, J.J. Abrams is the only one connected to this movie that was connected to Cloverfield. Right. Like no one else from the original Cloverfield has anything to do with this movie.
Right, because I think Matt Reeves directed the first one, and he was nowhere near this one. Yeah.
Abrams' name is, for some reason on the posters, it's his only name. It's his name and then the title of the movie, right?
I know, and Dan Trachtenberg's name is there too, no? The director?
I don't know. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it is. And some posters that I've seen online. Now, I find that a little awkward because I get how you have to sell movies, right? You have to put names to names, like, Will Smith, Concussion. Why? Because you can't, if it's anyone else, no one's going to go watch it. Now, on a Reddit post, I found out that this was originally called Valencia and The Cellar,
right?
And it was closed down by Paramount. So now do you see where I'm trying to go with this?
What you're getting at, I kind of knew already, yeah.
So watch. It was brought back with rewrites that connected it to Cloverfield.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's you could have made this movie without the Cloverfield connection.
Exactly.
Completely without the Cloverfield connection. Yeah. You did not need Cloverfield. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't. The movie stands on its own. It doesn't need it.
So pretty much, this was a failed. I think it's failed to go into production script.
Right.
So it failed. They brought it back and they sort of revived it by connecting it to Cloverfield. And someone said this online as well. I wish I could quote who said it, but they sort of used Cloverfield as a Twilight Zone title.
Correct.
It's like saying, okay, so Cloverfield means
it's almost gonna be like an anthology of movies, like a collection of movies that aren't necessarily
that are relating to an apocalyptic situation.
Right.
And I liked thinking of it that way. So look, if I saw this before watching the movie, I would have gone into the movie with a negative thing in my head, right? Like this negative planted thought.
Right.
Now the thing is, this is a successful revival / cash grab.
So good.
Because look, I'm not gonna judge these people for saying, okay, look, we have this whole script here. Can we possibly use this for anything? I'm not gonna blame them for that because it makes sense. You have to use what you have sometimes, And I was completely fooled into thinking this is just a secret Cloverfield movie. Well, no, it's a movie that they used and then they connected it to it last second. But the problem, it's not really a problem. The thing is, they did it well, and I still like it. I still like it. I still think that it's worth watching, and I still think that it was well acted, and everything fell into place really well.
What's awesome though is because of the Cloverfield connection, like which they did with the original movie. This movie, and you can tell how they did. Like this movie was made completely in secret. Like they didn't tell anybody. It was one day I woke up and the trailer was there, and like it was like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
the trailer was there, and you have this full completed movie, and it's like holy crap! And the whole movie takes place in a room, so it's easy to hide the fact that you're making a movie.
Of course, yeah.
But like the fact that you do that, and then the movie comes out and it's so good. It's better than, for me, even though it's hard to compare because they're two completely different movies. I enjoy this movie more than I enjoyed Cloverfield. And I enjoyed Cloverfield.
It's like, I'm thinking of it this way. Imagine if you saw Misery, and then
your Misery connection.
Then they connected it to Cloverfield. It still would be a great movie, and it would be tied to something that I don't want to die. I don't want the Cloverfield movie to die out on its own because I'm a big fan of it. I know some people hated it because of the shaky camera thing, which is, by the way, not on this movie at all.
It's a different movie.
Yeah.
It was so good. It has this eerie sci-fi quality to it that I haven't seen in a while. I haven't had it. It's been a while since I had this much fun at a movie, and it was so. And the fact that you don't know anything about it going in is so fun.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I think that experience, that mystery box experience, where you're
so
like,
awesome. You guys have to go watch this.
This is a movie that's in the right hands. It has the right actors. It has the right. It has a lot. It does a lot well. And the thing is, it's like when a friend recommends a movie. If you have a friend you trust who knows movies, and he says, "Hey, you have to go see this movie. It's good." You don't even care about asking, "Okay, what is it about? What is it?" Da, da, da. You just go, you sit down, and you enjoy it. And that movie, that type of experience is gone. Now everyone knows what's going to happen.
The only thing that I'm scared of now, because we talked about like it being an anthology where you have a series of movies that aren't necessarily connected, but I'm not gonna say what happened, but I want to see a continuation of this particular
story.
Yes,
I do too.
Because there's a really badass moment at the end. It's basically the last shot of the movie. There's this like really badass moment where like it sets things in motion, and I really, really want to see the next part.
I did too.
Of the story.
I mean,
I don't know if we will, but
it felt like Legend with Will Smith, which is based off of the Omega Man.
I Am Legend. Yeah.
And, what's it called? I Am Legend, which is based off the Omega Man and the Last Man on Earth.
Right.
And it ended in that way, right, where she gets to the city or whatever.
I don't want to see what happens. But
No, what I'm saying is that it ends in a way where it says, okay, let's see what happens in the next movie, and then it never happens.
It ends in a way where it sets the character off in a direction that
is towards salvation.
That's gonna be totally badass.
Yeah,
that I want to see.
But it never happens. So I'm hoping that this happens. And you know what? I think even if this was made as a way to salvage what they had, they probably accidentally just made a new genre of mystery box movies.
Dude, it was. I want to see more. It was so good. I cannot believe how good it was.
But that goes back to Hollywood culture of like scripts leaking and people reading the full script and knowing everything, and then spoilers exist, and then people know what to expect when you go into a movie.
You know what I wasn't expecting? It was actually like it was funny. Like, it had some funny moments in it that I was like, but they were just at the right time, and they were just funny enough to kind of like, I don't know.
That was me. No, but I agree. I think it's one of those things that life is like that, isn't it? Like, sometimes you'll go through, like, really crappy moments and still laugh.
Because you have to use humor. It's like a psychological thing. You have to use humor to help yourself get through it.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? John Good.
Oh, my
John
Goodman. I'll never see John Goodman the same way again, which is good. He was so good.
I feel like this is my wife says this all the time. He's going to die. That's what she says. She said whenever someone old appears and you're like, oh, I love this guy, she goes, he's going to die.
He's not that old.
I know, but you know what? He's big.
Yeah, he looks a little.
He's been around for a while, and everyone dies eventually. But oh man, this guy is amazing.
He was so good.
Amazing.
And I think it's good too for because people know who he is, but like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she's had a couple roles here and there, but like John Gallagher Jr., I think it's a good breakout movie for them. I hope they get way more roles after.
No, you know what? Yeah, she was amazing.
And John Gallagher Jr. is kind of the comedic relief of the movie. Like, even though he's not super, but like he was so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so good. Go watch it.
So yeah, go watch it, guys. If you're wondering whether or not you should go watch it, is it worth your $20? Yes, it is. Go watch it, guys. It's really a fun experience. Don't listen to what anyone says. Just go watch it.
If you're scared of going to see it because you're scared you're gonna vomit because of the shaky cam the first one had, or it's like a straight up kaiju movie like the first one was, not at all. Not at all.
That's such a small percent of it.
Yeah. So.
This is like pretty much a movie, and then they add a little bit of something else to just say, hey, possibly it can lead to something.
There's a really good payoff. I'll leave it at that. There's a really good payoff.
All right, so we're just about an hour in almost, so we have to rush this part of the episode. Thing of the week, we got to do it. So go.
Are we doing it?
Let it out.
Hold on.
Oh boy.
Something a little different.
Oh, okay. I did not know you were gonna do that because that's right in my face. He's putting on a strap in case you're listening.
Thing of the week. Thing of the week.
I don't know what to say at this point. It's not a Mr. Rogers episode.
You ready? Thing of the week. Thing of the week. Thing of the week. Thing of the week.
Okay, so you just turned this episode into like an old 2005
people are sleeping.
indie song.
People are sleeping.
This is like an indie song right now. Oh god. All right. Anyways, so thing of the week. What is your thing of the week? Because I don't know.
I know. Okay, so I've recently rediscovered wrestling.
What do you mean rediscovered?
So I was a huge wrestling fan when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and then I got to a point where I thought it was stupid, and I stopped watching it. And then a bunch of people that I know are still watching WWE, and I tried getting back into it, and I was like, it's still not my thing. And then I came across this thing that's actually a year and a half old. Robert Rodriguez has this channel. It's the El Rey network that he owns. And
okay.
And he has this wrestling show on it called Lucha Underground.
Interesting.
They basically brought the Mexican style of lucha libre,
which is, by the way, really fun.
So fun. They brought it to America, and he has this show called Lucha Underground, which is basically it's a new wrestling league. But it's unlike the other wrestling leagues. It's seasonal, so it doesn't just keep going. They do it by seasons, and every episode is shot as an episode, and it connects into other episodes. And like, even though you have your matches, it's like dramatic, and it's really good, and it's something that I've never experienced with wrestling before, and I'm surprisingly hooked to it. Like I bought the entire first season, and I've been watching it, and like it's just so good, and the wrestling is crazy, man. That Mexican style of lucha libre is like
you know what it is? They're so nimble, and they're so crazy.
And they fly all over. I want they shoot it in LA, and I want to go to LA just to go to a taping of the show. I'm having so much fun with it. So if you want to see wrestling, find Lucha Libre. The first season's on iTunes now. It's so fun. It's called Lucha Underground on El Rey Network, and I've been having a blast watching it. So that's my thing of the week, man.
That's crazy. You know what? I really want to watch it. What's his name? What's the wrestler? Rey
Mysterio Jr. He's there.
He was my all-time favorite as a kid.
He's there.
Really?
He's season 2. He comes in.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they have this guy called, his name is Prince Puma, and he's just like flying all over the place. They have, man, it's so.
Wait, hold on. Let me ask you. It's just randomly in my head. Is there gay wrestlers?
Yes.
Because I was gonna say, you know what? That would be such an awesome thing to see. Because
there's a wrestler in Lucha Underground. I don't know if the actual person is gay, but the persona's like a kind of like, it's called something Pimpinella.
Yeah.
And it's like a flamboyant kind of like, but people like are behind her,
that is
behind
awesome.
him. I'm sorry, and like it's just like, dude, it is so much fun. And the cool thing is that it's only like, if you watch it as a week, it's only 42 minutes a week. It's an episode. Whereas if you're watching WWE, Raw's 3 hours plus SmackDown, which is another hour. So it's 40 minutes a week, and it's the storylines are awesome, and it's just the wrestling is so much fun. I'm having a blast watching it. So Underground.
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Lucha Underground.
And the reason I made that connection, by the way, was because I was watching The Birdcage with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know what? I don't know what.
So yes, if you've ever been a fan of wrestling, give Lucha Underground a shot. It's really fun.
All right, so my thing of the week is Hearthstone.
It's been a while, so...
Yeah, so which means it's been a while, so now we have a new expansion, and this actually... I was going to do a full thing on this, but then I realized, you know what? expansions are going to be so common, and then again, we don't tackle that many games as long as it's something really big, we don't talk about it, right? So it's definitely my thing of the week for that reason. And they released a new details on a new expansion called Whispers of the Old Gods. And the reason I wanted to actually make this my thing of the week is because I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. I love that world he's created. I know many people do as well. And definitely these guys, because it's very H.P.
It's very Lovecraftian. It's very Lovecraftian.
Yeah. Now, instead of, Cthulhu, they have Cthulhu. So it's like a tune version of them, I guess. I don't know. Really funny. I love the idea behind this expansion. This is so like something I'd be into. 134 new cards for me to collect, of course. Old gods have pretty much altered and changed some of the previous minions. So let's say this one card did this. Well, now it's the opposite. It's evil or whatever, So it's a really fun thing. If you guys are into Hearthstone at all, go check it out. It's oldgods.com will take you to the site. You need to check it out. And that's my thing of the week.
Awesome.
Okay, good. All right, so one more thing we're going to talk about, because there's more on there, but we will not have enough time to cover all the other topics. I wanted to talk about Nintendo Land.
Okay.
Because it's coming to Universal Japan. So in other words, when you're like, yes, finally, Nintendo's going to do something awesome. It's in Japan, which, let's be honest, it makes perfect sense because that's their backyard.
Yeah.
But this one weird website called Sankei News, I hope I said that right, reported on this, and Nintendo announced this last year, and this was supposed to be sort of a big thing because now Nintendo has this fear that they're being so private with their, with their properties that it's actually affecting them in a negative way. They're going downhill, in my opinion. So they're starting to branch out and get their name and branding out there, and they're starting to do cell phone games. Remember we talked about that?
I don't know what the hell Nintendo's doing.
Yeah, exactly. They need to do something,
plain
though.
and simple. I have no idea what the hell Nintendo's doing.
So anyways, Universal Studios has the rights to its properties, which I think they're in safe hands. And they're investing, by them, I mean, Universal is investing $350 million, and they're gonna make something that's on par with the Harry Potter attractions, which, by the way, I think that was amazing. That I've never been to a theme park that disconnected me so much from the previous spot that I was.
Wizarding World is awesome.
Yeah, because as soon as you walk in, it literally feels like, holy cow!
Yeah,
like, Wizarding World transformed.
And California's getting it now too.
Wizarding
World is the bomb.
So they're gonna do something like that with Nintendo. In my opinion, a little too late.
It's gonna suck.
A little too late.
Yeah.
I feel like this should have been around in the 90s.
Nintendo's so...
They're old
out
school.
Of touch, man.
Yeah, exactly. Out of touch is perfect. Anyways, the reports say it's going to focus on Mario or Nintendo characters.
I almost don't care.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. That's the sad part, right? But, I mean, I would go if I went to Japan. I would definitely go. Now, the thing is, you have to hold your breath, of course, because it's going to be released in 2020.
Yeah,
so
like I said, I don't care.
Sometime from now.
Nintendo probably won't even
definitely would
exist at
check
that
it
point.
out. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they try something so over the top crazy like they did with the Wii, just to get some attention going again, because it's a little bit not out there anymore. Now, since we have a few minutes left, I did want to say, EverQuest, right?
EverQuest Next got canned.
Yeah. So EverQuest, the guys behind them, Daybreak, had two big things coming out for EverQuest.
EverQuest Next?
People were looking forward to it because MMOs have gone down the route where they're temporary games that fall off completely.
Right.
There's a few I can think of. Star Wars had, what was it?
The Old Republic, but people are still playing it.
No, but the thing with the Old Republic is that it's more aimed at a single player experience where there's a story. Then the story ends. Then what are you going to do after? You know what I mean? It's not concentrating on endgame as much. And a few other MMOs that I'm not going to bring up have been falling off completely. They either go down the free to play and then they're gone. Now EverQuest was one of the first, one of the big first ones.
It's the one that got me into MMORPGs.
Yeah, and they sold people on that idea.
The fact that I'm old enough to have played EverQuest is
of course. But then, of course, they announced the cancellation of it. They're just done with it.
EverQuest 2 was pretty good, too. It was hard as shit.
Yeah.
It was super hard.
Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty... I'm not going to go much into that one, but it's just a quick idea of, like, where MMOs are going. Because a lot of them are going back to multiplayer experiences that are not aimed at massive, having huge servers.
I'm not a hardcore gamer by any means, but the games that I do enjoy the most are massively multiplayer online games, and we don't have those type of... We have WoW, but even then, like... To me, honestly, WoW is the game that killed the massively multiplayer online experience, because I think it changed it for the worse, because it made it more mainstream, which I think hurt it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I missed the MMORPGs of old, and it's kind of sad because I had my eye on EverQuest next. I want to see if it would be like a return to like that old style of like MMORPG. So
I think now what we're looking at least in gaming, is shorter multiplayer experiences. By shorter, I mean like maybe like a year.
and you have hybrid MMORPGs now. Like you have Destiny, you have the Division, you have
Exactly, yeah. So
which is it's an interesting mix. So I miss the games of old.
I think it's also a mixture of getting older people into games, because now we went from kids, now we're adults.
Just no time.
Yeah, we're gonna have families.
It's hard.
People
it's hard to sit down and like actually play.
Yeah,
and,
it's
like,
difficult. So I think people are aiming for games that are temporary, so you want to jump on them as soon as you can and play, and then be done with it, and then move on to the next.
Right.
But yeah, so that pretty much wraps up our show, guys.
Daredevil's coming out this week.
Daredevil's coming out this week. Yeah, we're gonna have to binge that.
I'm gonna watch it in one sitting.
Allie's gonna watch it with you.
Hell yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get Kate to watch it with me. I got her to watch season 1.
We gotta do a roundtable.
We're gonna do a roundtable
Sunday
on
before everybody else does one.
All right, if you want to beat everyone to it, we'll do it. Anything else?
I'm gonna buy a Daredevil mask and wear it.
Okay. On another note, he's gonna buy a Daredevil mask.
I'm gonna wear a red,
I have my horse mask.
I'm gonna wear a red leather suit super tight.
By the way, how kinky is that outfit, right? Like if you think about it outside, it's like super kink.
Leather.
Horny.
The horny.
Yeah, Daredevil.
And then Elektra's is like it's gonna be
All right,
good.
so that's you guys have something to look forward to next week then.
Me in a leather outfit.
Okay, don't say. All right, guys, have a good one, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Maybe, hopefully, yes, you will. Peace.